We will be doing our FOA on gender-targeted toy commercials. Our chosen learning outcome is analyze the impact of language changes. Today, we will be comparing the language changes over time in gender-targeted toy commercials. To give us an idea of how influential television is on growing children, we would like to present some evidence. According to the Nielsen Company, children aged between 2 and 5 years old watch, on average, 32 hours of television per week, and children aged between 6 and 11 spend, on average, 28 hours a week in front of the TV. According to Monica Brasted, a Pennsylvania State University graduate with a PhD in mass communication and specializing in media studies, said, "Several studies have demonstrated that heavy viewers of television hold more traditional gender stereotype notions of proper role behavior than light viewers of television. These pieces of evidence show that young children are simultaneously the most easily influenced members of our population, and they are among those that watch the most TV content as a whole. Keeping this in mind, we would like to introduce to you our first commercial, Beautiful Chrissy by the Ideal Toy Company."
The Ideal Toy Company was an American toy company founded by Morris and Rose Mitchum. During the post-World War II baby boom era, Ideal became the largest doll-making company in the United States. During World War II, the company's value rose from $2 million to $11 million. Their most popular dolls included Betsy Wetsy, Tony, Saucy Walker, Shirley Temple, Miss Revlon, Patty Playpal, Tammy, Thumbelina, Tiny Thumbelina, and Chrissy. Chrissy was an American fashion doll with a feature to adjust the length of her hair. Chrissy was created in the Ideal Toy Corporation's prototype department in 1968. After Chrissy was created in 1969, Beautiful Chrissy was released to the public for buying. We will be analyzing the technique used for advertising Chrissy and comparing them to that of a more current female-targeted toy commercial. Here is the commercial.
Everyone knows that beautiful hair makes a girl look beautiful.
Beautiful Chrissy has beautiful hair that grows.
This is Beautiful Chrissy, the doll with beautiful hair that grows right down to her toes. Woo! Turn the knob and her hair is shorter. Press her tummy and you can make her hair grow and grow and grow right down to her toes. You'll love to brush it and brush it.
She has beautiful hair. She has beautiful eyes. She has beautiful clothes.
Beautiful Chrissy comes in this beautiful dress. But you can get all these other beautiful clothes for her too, and style her hair to go with them.
Beautiful Chrissy has beautiful hair that grows.
Beautiful Chrissy. She's ideal.
The commercial began by stating that everybody knows that beautiful hair makes a girl look beautiful. By stating that everybody already knows, it demonstrates that having substantial beauty is the standard for females in society. It also implies that only hair is capable of making a girl look beautiful, and that inner beauty does not exist, which implies that beauty can only be achieved through physical characteristics.
Then the commercial sings, Beautiful Chrissy has beautiful hair that grows, with emphasis on the word grows. The Ideal Toy Company says this to show girls that they can adjust their level of beauty through the adjustment of the length of Chrissy's hair. This puts enormous power in the idea of hair by saying that the simple growth of hair can change a woman's overall beauty. In addition, instead of giving Chrissy the power to learn or perform activities, the Ideal Toy Company chooses to give Chrissy the power to grow hair, which puts emphasis on society's stereotypes that women are only bred for their beauty, rather than their mental or physical abilities.
The commercial then says, "This is Beautiful Chrissy, the doll with beautiful hair that grows right down to her toes." This reveals that by having more hair, women are more beautiful. By giving girls the ability to increase the amount of hair visible, gives them the power to indirectly increase the amount of beauty that is visible.
A young girl in the commercial then excitedly exclaims, "Ooh, This allows young girls watching the commercial to picture themselves just as excited as the girls they see, and allows them to put themselves in the shoes of the girls playing with Chrissy in the commercial. Because the excitement is cultivated from the idea of beauty, this shows growing girls that beauty is what they should strive for, rather than ability. This feeds into the continuous passing of stereotypes through generations.
Then another girl exclaims, "She has beautiful hair, she has beautiful eyes, she has beautiful clothes." This again places the viewer in the shoes of the girl in the commercial, cultivating excitement from features that focus on beauty.
The commercial continued with, "Beautiful Chrissy comes in this beautiful dress, but you can get all these other beautiful clothes for her too, and style her hair to go with them." Here, the Ideal Toy Company had the opportunity to provide their product with features outside the realm of beauty. However, they didn't. They chose to give Chrissy additional dresses, closing off any opportunities for the doll to empower women.
The commercial concluded with, "Beautiful Chrissy, she's ideal." By incorporating their company name in the way shown here, the Ideal Toy Company is showing girls that Chrissy is optimal, and that girls should idolize the level of beauty she has. Kids naturally generalize what they see and will interpret this to mean that they should idolize beauty as a general concept.
We would also like to call attention to the fact that Ideal used the word beautiful 15 times during this commercial.
The commercial we will be analyzing and comparing Beautiful Chrissy to is the You Can Be Anything campaign by Mattel's well-known Barbie. At 56 years old, Barbie has been facing tough competition to win the hearts of today's young girls. Parents have also been objecting gender-specific toys that don't promote the empowerment of girls.
In 2015, Barbie launched their You Can Be Anything campaign, entirely based on the aspirations of young girls. Imagine the Possibilities shows 5 young girls conducting their desired careers in real-life settings. Each gets to act out roles with adults around them, who are not pre-warned, playing along whilst being filmed with hidden cameras. Here is the commercial.
Hello, my name is Gwyneth, and I'll be your professor today. And I will be talking about the brain.
Hi.
Hello, I'm your veterinarian today.
You're kidding.
Nope, I'm Dr. Brooklyn. See?
Okay, doctor.
Oh, here, let me see. Good morning, everyone. I'm your new coach. My name is Maddie. Nice to meet you. I had the most fantastic day in the office. You'll never believe what happened. We got that new business I wanted. You ever seen him fly?
Have you seen him what?
Fly?
No.
My cat can fly.
Okay.
The dog's brain can't think as much as the human's brain because there's no high school for the dog. This is Peter, the Triceratops. Peter is 1 year old. The T-Rex, Sally, is 1,002,252 years old. Knees up like a unicorn. Higher, higher. I've been to New York, Transylvania, Pennsylvania. We can think and do lots of stuff with our brain. Now, does anybody know how big the brain is? Anybody? Sophia. It is medium. Medium. Very good.
The commercial begins by showing text that reads, "What happens when girls are free to imagine they can be anything?" Mattel uses the word free here to emphasize that girls are formally known as being bound or suppressed. This question also allows the viewer to compare what happens when girls are free to when girls are not free. Here, Mattel specifically asks what happens when girls are free to imagine they can be anything. This opens the mind of the viewer to the issue of gender and allows for them to briefly reflect on women's issues. This puts the viewer in the right mindset and sets the stage for the remainder of the commercial.
The commercial goes on to introduce several young girls and their desired professions. This is coupled with doubt and hesitancy from the adult audience. This doubt reveals much about our thesis of this FOA. First, it shows that the adults were entirely influenced by the gender stereotypes that were present at the time they were raised, and that those preconceived notions have not yet lifted. Past studies suggest that children as young as 4 years of age are likely to choose gender-targeted toys when they have seen them modeled on television by same-sex children. Hence, most children tend to accept sex stereotypes identified with the stereotypical role of their gender, and punish other children, especially boys, who exhibit cross-gender behaviors and traits.
Second, this doubt also shows that adult women have much left to overcome due to these stereotypes that are still present specifically in their age group. Third, comparison present between the mindset of the doubtful adults with the mindset of the hopeful young girls foreshadows what the future of women will look like. The next generation of women is being raised under values of ability as opposed to the past values of appearance, and thus, women as a whole will express these values in the future.
It is very clear that there are significant language changes between these commercials. Ideal's advertisement for Beautiful Chrissy in 1969 expressed textbook gender stereotypes and directly influenced young girls to take after these stereotypes. Barbie's You Can Be Anything campaign in 2015 used language that focused on breaking these stereotypes and exhibited girls leading the path to their own future.
Looking at toy advertisements targeted at boys, we see that not much has changed over time. Here is a boy-targeted toy commercial by the Ideal Company created in 1961.
Ideal's Robot Commando is here to help you. He's your one-man army. No enemy can destroy him. He fights off tanks, hurls missiles one after another. Even a squadron of planes can't stop him. Robot Commando fires his secret weapon. He takes orders from no one except you.
Forward!
Ideal's Robot Commando is battery operated to obey your command. Adjust the control, speak into the microphone.
Left! Fire!
Ideal's Robot Commando is here to help you. Look for your Robot Commando. He's looking for you.
Here is a boy-targeted toy commercial created by BattleKnox in 2016.
This is not a video game, this is for real. Get ready for the fight. Train to sharpen your skill with BattleKnox, and you'll be ready to challenge anyone. Get ready to Knox. Jab, hook, uppercut, double hit, knocks out. Customized for the ultimate win. BattleKnox hand-to-hand combat. Think you can beat me? Let's see what you got. BattleKnox from Kidrix. Knox or nothing. Who's Knoxed?
Commercials created in the mid to late 1900s displays nearly identical values to those created within the last 5 years. Male-targeted commercials earlier in history advertised toys such as automobiles, action figures, and robots, which are exactly the kinds of toys advertised for boys today. Brass Ted states that it is important to note that a clear distinction between a doll and an action figure has been created. Although an action figure would seem to resemble a doll, it has carefully been defined as a toy suitable for a boy to play with. Because of gender stereotypes, it is unacceptable for boys to play with dolls, but perfectly fine for them to play with action figures. The emphasis being on action rather than the caring and nurturing associated with dolls. In addition, the language used in both time periods empowers boys to feel in control and powerful. A study of several commercials aired in the United States and Australia by Beverly A. Brown reveals that commercials targeting boys were significantly more active than commercials targeting girls. They were also substantially more aggressive. Aggressiveness among boys involved throwing, hitting, making faces, and using toys in mock efforts to kill or maim an object or person. Those actions were rarely observed among girls. Because male-targeted toy ads have not had to experience significant changes over time, it is shown that women as a whole have had to overcome much more than men have as a whole.
Throughout American history, women have been seen as lesser than men. Females have had to work tirelessly to gain the same rights as males. They didn't get the right to vote till 1920 with the 19th Amendment. In the past, women were only allowed to acquire jobs in teaching, secretary work, waitressing, childcare, and stewardesses. Over the years, women's rights and feminism have come a long way. Women are being seen as more independent and can do everything men can do. There have been many feminism and women's rights movements, such as the 1848 Seneca Falls Convention to the Women's March on Washington in 2017.
They poured into the nation's capital for the Women's March on Washington, flooding the streets. They called again for the Equal Rights Amendment to be included in the Constitution. They emphasized again the need for affordable childcare, equal pay, and access to safe, legal, affordable abortion and birth control. They said women have a right to live free of all forms of violence against our bodies, and that it is our moral duty to keep families together. The wage gap is narrowing, but has barely budged in the last decade, according to the nonprofit Institute for Women's Policy Research, IWPR. Overall, women earn 80 cents for every dollar earned by men, according to the National Partnership for Women and Families. The number of women in politics is increasing. Women are 51% of the population, but make up 19% of Congress and only a quarter of state legislatures.
It has been made clear in our presentation that over time, language has significantly changed in favor of women. In 1969, the Ideal Toy Company used textbook female stereotypes to market their products. In 2015, however, Mattel has opened the doors for young girls to seek success beyond the restrictions of their gender stereotype. The sheer fact that this change is what is now attracting parents and children to toy products shows that the future of women is on the rise and will only continue growing.